The most common question I get asked when I'm doing an estimate for a move, or one of my estimators is out working on a move for people on a budget, is how do I use your moving company but also save myself the most amount of money, right? And that's a really good question. And the important thing is, most of the time my customers tend to think in how much stuff they have. So they're thinking about volume, like, oh, I've got that big couch over there or that big armoire that I need moved. Well, my guys look at that couch and they're like, hey, great, we're gonna wrap that up and have that out of here in 30 seconds, right? It's anything that consumes time or requires extra materials for us to move it safely, because that's the thing. Keep in mind, everything we move, we have to put in the back of a large truck and drive it down a rough road or whatever, across railroad tracks, that kind of a thing. So we're putting fragile things in there with big, heavy items, and everything has to go in the same space. So that brings me to my point. And what I tell my customers is, hey, if you want to save some money, move some things in your car that are going to be easy for you to just place in your car, maybe in the back seat or the floorboard, that we couldn't just do that in the truck, because we just can't take something like this picture frame and just put it in the back of the truck. We're going to have to wrap this. We're going to have to put it in a box. So now you're paying for labor to wrap it. You're paying for the box to ship it in, right? Just to be able to squeeze it into the truck with all the other items. Same thing with like lamps, small appliances. Like these lamps, there's just no way of moving this in the back of a truck that's packed all the way to the ceiling without crushing the lampshade or damaging something. Whereas you could place these in the back of your SUV or even in the floorboard of your car and drive them to the destination, no problem. Same thing for us. Typically, to move this lamp, we would actually have to use two boxes, because we're going to put the lamp in one box and then we're going to take several lampshades and place them in another box. So now you're paying for the labor, the packing material, the bubble wrap, or whatever paper we wrap it in. You're paying for the box, you're paying for another box for the lampshades. So if you just look around and just think about anything that's time consuming, of course, if you can pack your own dishes, we have other videos to help you with that. Anything like that that's going to be time consuming, because typically on a local move, you're being charged by the hour. So whether the guy is doing something you definitely don't want to do, which is moving your giant armoire out to the truck, that's something that you just don't want to handle yourself, obviously, right? That's the reason you're hiring movers. However, grabbing some lamps, you know what I mean? Moving your own electronics, things like that, that you can simply place in your car where there's nothing around them that's going to damage them. You know, they'll go safely across town, no problem. It's going to save you a lot of money in the long run. So that's my tip. It's kind of a simple one, but it's really important, because again, just keep in mind, anything we move, we have a certain amount of liability for. So we're going to have a certain level of protection that we have to meet or exceed, which means we've got to put it in a box, or we've got to wrap it in a pad or something like that. You know, in the case of this picture, even if we wrap this in a blanket, the blanket is scratch protection, but it's not impact protection. This has a glass front. So we could wrap this up in a pad and the glass could still get broken. So we're going to need that cardboard, you know, container to give us a little impact protection as well. And that's just that's a standard level of safety that any moving company is going to use. So keep in mind, take a look around. Anything you can do that's time consuming, but yet you're easily able to do, it's just going to save you a lot of money in the long run when you hire a moving company.